Hello everyone, my name is Ajay and in this video we will see how we can install a Laravel application on LAMP stack. LAMP stack stands for Linux, Nginx, MySQL and PHP. In my previous video or earlier video you have seen that I have installed the Laravel application on LAMP stack, that is LAMP stack, in which in spite of Nginx server we have used Apache on that. You can go through that video also if you are working on Apache server. So let's get started on the LAMP stack Laravel installation on Nginx server. So here are the steps. These are some of our product that is built in Laravel. Worksuite, Worksuite SaaS, Table Track, HRM SaaS, Recruit SaaS. So we will take one of our product named Worksuite and install on AWS. So in this video, you need to have a AWS account, and in the learning we will see how to create EC2 instance, what is Elastic IP, then is security group, how to upload files from local PC to the server using SCP and FileZilla. The next is installing our Worksuite in our Laravel application using installer or the terminal. The next is removing public from URL, and then we will also see how we can configure Cron Job on the server, and then we will be mapping one domain to the server and then running that application specifically on some domain, and how we can create a virtual host, and finally we will also see how we can install SSL. So let's jump to the system flow. So first we will create EC2 instance on our AWS. And in that EC2 instance, we will install Linux, Nginx, PHP, MySQL, Composer, etc. And then we will upload the Laravel application files to the server, and then we will run the installer. So let's get started. So this is my dashboard of AWS. From here we will search for EC2, and then we'll click to EC2. And here, as you can see, I have 0 instance running. So let's click on instances from here. And in the instances, we will have to create a new instance. So let's click on launch instance, and let me name it Worksuite Nginx server. And just scroll down, you can name it anything. And for the operating system, I will be selecting Ubuntu, the latest version. And for the instance type, our Worksuite application is, I can say, a bit complex, and it consumes a bit of memory and CPU. So I would suggest to go with at least T2.medium. T2.medium has 2 CPU, 4 GB memory. More than enough for our Worksuite application. As the users or the traction grows on your server, you can jump to more higher versions. So the next thing is key pair. Let's create a new key pair that will be used for the connecting to the EC2 instance. So let me create it, and let me name it Nginx, Worksuite Nginx, and click on create. So it's also downloaded. And from the security group, I will be choosing, yes, we want the SSH, and I will also select the HTTP and HTTPS and HTTP. And for the storage, for now I am just selecting 20 GB. And I think it's all done. From here, let's click on launch instance, and then we will wait for a few minutes so that our instance gets ready. Let's click back to the instances and see. So now we can see our instance is in running state. So there are 2 methods by which we can connect to our instance. So the first method is using, we'll click on checkbox and click connect at the top, and then we'll click here connect, and we'll wait for a few seconds for the connection to be established. So the first method is directly via the AWS. So as you can see, we are now connected on our EC2 instance. So let's jump to the second approach, that is using by our key that we created. So for that we have created the key, and this is the key that we have created, and it's in the download folder. So now we are on our terminal, and on the downloads folder, let's ls it to see all the files available. So we have Worksuite PEM file. The first step is changing the permission of this PEM file. So we'll do chmod 400 and Worksuite Nginx .pem. So the permission of this Nginx file is changed. So let's try the connection. So for connecting, we will do ssh-i and the pem file name, which is Nginx, and the user, which is Ubuntu by default for the Ubuntu that we installed on our EC2 instance. So the next we will be entering the IP. Let's get the IP of this. Let me close this part. And the IP here is, this is the IP, that is the public IP. You can see here and here. Let me copy it and paste and click enter, and yes. So here also you can see we are now connected to the EC2 instance. So now we are connected, and so the next step is, let's go back. So first created the EC2 instance. Next step is elastic IP. So let's jump to the elastic IP. So as you can see, we currently have a public IP that is 13.203 and .100. So what is elastic IP and what is public IP? So this public IP changes time to time. Means if for some reason the server gets crashed or server restarts or something happens to AWS, this public IP is changed. So to prevent that from changing this public IP, we will assign an elastic IP to this instance. So let's create an elastic IP. We'll click on elastic IP, and from here we'll click on allocate elastic IP and keep everything as such and click allocate. And here we'll name it Worksuite. So the elastic IP is now created, but we need to assign this elastic IP to the instance. So let's checkbox it and click on action, and from here we will associate elastic IP to the instance that we have created. Okay, associate. So now this elastic IP is associated with our instance. So yeah, now you can see elastic IP and public IP are same and it's assigned to this instance. One more thing I would like to highlight here is at the top right corner you can see Asia Pacific. So in Asia Pacific, I have created this instance in Asia Pacific region. If we change this region and see what happens. So I change the region to United States, and here as you can see there is no instance running. So remember to create the instance to your specific region and look for that instance in your region. Do not check this instance on some other region, it might not be there. So I'm going back to Mumbai, and here it is here we can see the instance. So the elastic IP is also assigned. So let's go back to the terminal, and you can see the connection is now disconnected because we have changed the public IP. So let's jump back and connect to the instance again. For now, so this was, we go back and let me copy the elastic IP, which is this one, and paste it, and yes. So now we are connected to elastic IP. The next step is security groups. So security, as the name says, security groups, it provides extra layer of security to our EC2 instance. Means the ports that we have enabled, only those ports will be used for the connections. So let's jump to the security group. Here we'll go to the security. Yeah, here is the security, and the security group is this one. Let's click here. So here we have enabled SSH connection. Since we have enabled SSH connection, that is why we are able to connect to the terminal, to our instance from the terminal. Let me delete this and see what we get. And for the deletion, let's go first edit it and delete it and click save. And let's try the connection again. Let me first exit it. So let's try the connection again. So it was SSH-I Worksuite Nginx Ubuntu at this is the IP. Let's try. So now you can see the connection is not getting established. It is stuck here as we have not given the port 22 enabled. So let's jump back and enable the port again. Add rule here, SSH, yeah, here, and the connection from anywhere, save rule, and now it's, let's try again the connection. So now you can see we are able to connect. So hope you understand the security group. So let's jump to the next part is, so here let's install the things that we need on our server. So we have installed the Linux and other things needs to be installed. So for that I have a separate gist created here in which I have installed PHP, Nginx and all the PHP requirements here, and the composer, MySQL and supervisor. So let's run this command. For that there are two methods. I will be using the first method. Let's copy it and run this on terminal. So it will take some time for installing all the configuration that we need, means the complete LAMP. So now the complete installation is done. Let me open the IP to the browser and see if we are getting Nginx or not. So let's go back to the instances, and here is the IP. Let me copy it. Let me open in another terminal. So let's remove the HTTPS and run on HTTP and see if we are getting anything. So as you can see, Nginx is installed. So the next step is, after installing everything, uploading the files to the server. So how we can do that is, so the first approach is via SCP and the next approach is going to be via FileZilla. So let's start with the SCP. Let me exit it. So here we can see we have a file Code Canyon, this zip file that we are going to upload. So for that what we'll do, we will use the command scp-i, and here we will be using the Worksuite Nginx pm file, and then the file that we are going to upload, that is Code Canyon zip, and this file needs to be uploaded on Ubuntu at, here we will be entering the IP. Let's copy the IP, and then here we will choose the path where we want to upload. So let's go to home, Ubuntu. So before doing that, let's open another terminal and connect to our EC2 instance. So the path of, let's see what is this path. So as you can see, the path of this default root is home Ubuntu, and we are uploading it to this path only. So let's click enter and see if we are able to upload. So as you can see, the upload has started and it will take some time for the upload. So as you can see, the file is uploaded. Let's cross check it. Let's go to the terminal where we have connected the EC2 instance. Let's type ls-al, and here as you can see, the file is uploaded. So let's jump to the second approach, that is via FileZilla. So for that, let me remove this file again, rmrf, and then the Code Canyon, and removed. So now the file is removed, and let's go to FileZilla. So here is the FileZilla, and here we will choose the site manager. Click on the first icon, and from here we will be creating a new site. Click new, and here we will be entering the host, which is the IP, and protocol is going to be SFTP, login type is key file, and user is Ubuntu, and the key file is going to be the PEM file that we created when launching the instance. Click browse and select the file and click on connect. Yes, always trust. So here we can see we are now on the Ubuntu. Let's upload the file. For uploading, let's select this file, or we can even go and the path. Let's see the path of this pwd, and it's user Ajay downloads, and let me paste it to the FileZilla, and we'll go here, and here we are. So let's upload this file. We'll right click and click upload, and as you can see the file is getting uploaded. So as you can see the file is uploaded. Let's go back to the terminal and cross check it, verify it, and let's see ls-al. So the files are now uploaded. So the next step is we will move this file to where www folders. So for moving we'll use mv code canyon zip and the path where we want to move where www, and let's move directly to the HTML folder. So as we are getting the error, that means the user Ubuntu do not have permission to move that file. So we will have to move this file by using sudo. Let's add sudo and try again. So now the command is successful, and let's go to where www html and see if the file is moved or not. So the file is now moved. So you can see there is one file named index.nginxdefine.html. So this file is exactly the file that is showing here. So let's remove this file and see if we are getting any such page. For that, for removing also we will use the sudo, and let's remove it and reload the page. So now you can see we are getting the error 403. So let's unzip this code canyon file. Unzip code canyon zip. So here also we are getting the error that we are not able to unzip it. For unzipping also we will use sudo and unzip it. So the unzip has started. Let's unzip it locally also to see what all things are there inside it. So when we are unzipping it, we will be getting the folder named Worksuite new 5.5.0. This is the version. So the file is unzipped. Let's go inside it. So inside this folder we have script folder and documentation folder, and inside the script folder we have the Laravel application. These all files are related to the Laravel. So what we will do, we will upload or we will move this file to the root directory where the application is running. So let's jump back to the terminal and let's ls it. So here you can see we have this file. So what we'll do, we will move all the files, move mv-r, and from Worksuite script, and from here what we'll do, we'll add star, and here we will be using dot. So it will move every file inside this directory script to the root folder, but it will not move the dot files. So let's first move this and see if we are getting. So this is invalid. Let's remove the r and see. And for moving also we will use sudo. Let's remove this part and run again. So as we can see the files are now moved. Let's ls it. So here as you can see there are no dot files that is moved. Here you can see there were dot files. These are the dot files. Let's go to the ls cd worksuite script and cross check it. By cross checking we'll run ls-al. By running -al we will also see the dot files, that is hidden files. So as you can see these dot files are not moved. So for moving the dot file we'll use another command. Let's go back mv, and from here we'll use dot for moving the complete dot file. and let's see if the dot files are moved. Dot and star, and then we'll run. Let's remove these codes. Let's ls-al. So now as you can see, dot files are also moved. So all files are moved for now. So let's cross check it again, ls-al. So there are no files here. So all the files are now moved. Let's go back and see. So here as we can see, all the Laravel files are moved, and for running the application we will be opening the public in URL, and let's see if we are getting anything or not. Let's enter public in URL. So after entering public we are not getting anything. That means, let me open some URL here. So let's go to the configuration of Nginx. For that we'll go to etc Nginx sites available, and here we will see we have default. So let's create a separate name and separate configuration, and let me name it sudo vim worksuite.xyz. So this is the domain that we are going to map in future. By future I mean the next steps. So let me create the virtual host for this. So it's created. Let's go to the Laravel, and here we will search Laravel Nginx configuration, and here this is the Laravel. Let's go to Nginx. So this is the configuration. Let's copy it and paste here. So the configuration is added. For the server name we will be using all requests should come to this, and from here we'll be using var www html, and everything is good for now. Let's change this location to location, and this, and here we will be adding .php and everything. Let's comment it. I will explain you this thing a bit later. And let's save it. And the next step is we will have to create a symlink of this configuration to sites enabled. For that we'll do ls sudo ls-l ln.s, and we'll use the name is worksuite and we'll be doing the symlink in etc Nginx sites enabled. Let's do it. So the symlink is also created. Let's cross check it if the configuration is correct or not. For that we'll do sudo nginx-t. So we are getting the error that too many levels of symlinks here. So what does that mean? Test fails means we have the underscore for two domains. So for that let's open the default configuration sudo vim default and delete everything here mentioned here. Let's go to and let's remove this sudo rm rf default. So the default configuration is now removed, and let's run it. So here we are getting again the error. So for that first we will create the default ls-al, and here we do not have any default. So for that we'll run sudo touch default, and then again we'll go to here, and here we are getting this error. For this error, too many levels of symlinks. Let's jump here and see the symlink command ls-l, and which is correct. So let's jump back, cd sites enabled, and let's see if we are having. So the symlink that is pointed is not the correct one. So let's jump back, and from here we'll do sudo cd sites available list-al, and for the symlink we'll use the complete sudo ln that says etc sites etc nginx sites available, and from here worksuite.xyz, and here we'll enter the path where we want to create the symlink. It's nginx sites enabled. So we are going to create the symlink of worksuite.xyz to this folder. Let's create, enter. Failed to create, file already exists. Let's first remove that file, which is this one. So the file is removed. Let's try again and see. So the symlink is created. Let's cross check if it's correct one or not. Sites enabled less-al. So now the worksuite.xyz is pointed to correct path of the existing worksuite.xyz. Let's try sudo nginx and see we are getting. So everything is now good to go. Let's restart the nginx. Sudo service nginx restart and cd sites available. Let's open this configuration for a while and understand it. So in this configuration we have pointed our every request that comes to the server to where www.html, and let's open it, and here we will be entering public in the URL and see if we are getting anything or not. Let's open Safari for a while and open it. So we are getting error. Why we are getting this error? Because let's go back and understand the issue. Let's go to cd.vim nginx conf. So here we can see this nginx is running with the user www-data, and let's see the folder user. For that we'll go to where www.html and let's cross check it, and here we can see this complete folder is running with root user. So nginx running with www-data and the folder is in root. So this is causing the issue to run the application. So the folder user needs to be same as the nginx. So let's change that as al. For that run changing, will change the user of complete HTML folder. For that we'll use sudo chown -r www-data www-data and html, and let's cross check it. So the folder user is www and w. So let's reload it again and see if we are getting anything. Again we are getting bad gateway, means there is something issue again with the server. So let's cross check it why we are getting it. For that we'll go to etc nginx sites available, and here we'll cross check it, and let's open the worksuite.xyz vim worksuite.sudo vim, and here let's check if we have mistyped anything. Let's first remove this location and enable the previous one. Yeah, now I understand the issue. For that let me go back and show you. Let's cross check the PHP version installed on the server. So the PHP version is PHP 8.3, and in our configuration, which is this one, we have used PHP 8.2. So we need to change this to PHP 8.3. And let's go back and sudo nginx sudo service nginx restart, and it's restarted. Let's reload the page and see. So as you can see, we are getting something on the page that is says file not found, and the issue for that is public check.php, and let's fix this also. We'll go back to the and let's remove the location for now from here, and we'll keep this original location as such. And let's restart the Nginx server, sudo service Nginx restart, and let's see again. So we are still getting this error. Let's debug it, why we are getting this. So this is correct. So we are getting this file not found because of the htaccess. So we'll go to the configuration again, and here we will be adding public at the end, so we can run the application without public in URL. Public, and let's save it and run the restart the Nginx, and let's reload again. And here, as you can see, we are seeing the Worksuite installer. That means the Laravel application seems to have installed, or means running on the application, the URL. So let's open the check.php and see if we are getting anything. So by running check in the URL, the file is getting downloaded. Why this is happening? Because in the configuration we have mentioned that only index.php file needs to be served and all the other PHP files needs to be rejected. So for running every PHP file, will remove this configuration and use every PHP file should run. And let's go back, restart the Apache, restart the Nginx, and let's check again. So again it's downloaded, getting downloaded, because what Cron does is Chrome cached the file and Nginx is also cached. So let's open this on Safari and see if we are able to run check.php. So as you can see, we are able to run the check.php on the Safari, and let's remove all this error on the Nginx. So for removing these errors, we'll first search for PHP ini files. For that we'll do php -ini, and here the path of the PHP is etc php 8.3. So let's go to that, and here ls-l, and here fpm, go to fpm cd fpm ls-l, and here we have php ini file. Let's open it, sudo php-ini, sudo vim php-ini, and here we will search for max execution time. For that we'll enter \max_execution and click enter, and then we'll change to at least 300, and the next is max upload. So the next is upload max files here. Let's search for that also. For that again, upload _max, and change this to, let's change this to 80 MB, and another is post max size, post_max, and change this to 80 also, I80, and save it and restart the Nginx service. Restart. Let's go back to Safari and reload the page. So we are still getting this error. Why we are getting error? Because we restarted the Nginx but we need to restart the PHP FPM. For that we'll do sudo service PHP 8.3 FPM restart. Let's go back and reload it. So all the errors are now gone. So let's jump to the installer. This is the installer. Let's click this menu, this link. Let's click on next. So here we are getting database username, password, and this. So we have to create the database. For that we will need to check if the MySQL is installed or not. So for that we'll do MySQL -- version. So MySQL 8 is installed. because we have used this gist, and in this MySQL server is stored, but we have not created the database, and we do not even know the password of our MySQL. So for that, we'll scroll down and we'll use this command to set the password, and let's run it. And we are inside. Let's create the password and save, and here we will be entering the password that you want to create. For now I am entering password as password, and then the next step is plus privileges, and let's also create the database. For creating the database, we'll use the command create database, and the database name should, let's app, and enter. Let's see. So databases, so app database is now created. Let's exit it and go back to the installer, and let's enter the database. Username was root, password was password, and the database name was app. Let's click next, and it was good to go. Let's click next, and now the next, and we will wait for some time for the installer to complete. This installer will create all the tables required for the running the application or the Laravel application. So it's running. So this is our Worksuite installer. You will not get this installer if you are running the any other Laravel application. For that, I will give you this another approach that you can use for the running the application. So we got 504 gateway timeout, means let's search for this, try to fix this also. So here is the, for fixing this, we'll have to increase the timeout on the server. Let's go back and open the fpm file, the configuration file of Nginx. For that, we'll use sudo vim etc nginx, and it was nginx.conf. And here in the http, we will be adding the thing that was given to us, proxy timeout, send timeout. Let's change this to 300. 300, 300, and this also 300. Let's save it and restart the Nginx. Sudo service Nginx restart. And there is another command to restart or reload the Nginx. This is the command. Let's try also this one. And let's again go back to the installer. Create a separate database for it. For that, we'll go to sudo MySQL u. Let's try directly. MySQL u root -p was password, and here it is. Let's create database, and let's name it Worksuite, and save and exit, and let's go to the install. Click next, and here we'll use root. Password was is password, and the database name is Worksuite. So as you can see, the application is now installed. So the issue was, let's jump back and cross check it. What was the issue? We'll go to the configuration, and in the configuration I added this fast CGI read timeout 240. So this fixed the timeout issue which I got from here. This is the Stack Overflow, and here someone suggested to add fast CGI read timeout 240. So after adding that, I am able to install the Worksuite application. This timeout happened because Worksuite is a huge application and it has so many migrations and so many tables. That's why it took time. So this is the first approach. Let's click here to exit, and this is the setup page. So let's jump to the second approach, which is much better approach if we are using the terminal. So for that, we'll go to the for that we'll open the file structure, and here's the file, and let's first open the install from here and see where. So installer is also gone. So for that, let me remove the database first, the specific database. For that, let's search how we can delete database MySQL. So for that, we'll use drop command, drop database and database name. We will use drop database, and the database name was Worksuite in this case. Let's wait for a while. So it deletes the Worksuite database and show databases. Let's delete the app database also. So both the databases are now deleted. Let's open this page and see. So now we are again getting the installer, means the application is not installed. And let's jump to the second approach, that is by using terminal. So for that, let's create the database again. Create database, let's name it app and exit it, and let's go to the file structure. These are the files. For that, we will open env file, vim.env. Let's open it via sudo, and here we will be adding the configurations. The first thing, do not change app name and app key, and also app env, do not change it. And from here, just change all the stuffs here mentioned here. The host is localhost, the database name is app root, the database password is password, and the app URL is this, correct. So here we will be adding the database configuration, database name app, user name is root, and the password is password. And in the app URL, you might get this app URL at the top. Just search for that and add the URL where the application is installed. And let's save it. And in the terminal, we will run a PHP artisan command. So just remember this command. It's PHP artisan migrate :fresh --seed and run it. So we will be running this command via sudo, and it will take some time, but this is way better approach to install the application. So what it will do, it will migrate fresh seed. This will delete the existing tables in the database if there is any, and then run the seeder. So this is the command that we need to run for the installing the Laravel application and running the tables and all the stuff. So as you can see, the migrations are now running. And it is way faster than the browser approach. So now it's seeding. So now the migration and seeder is complete. Let's go to the browser and reload it. And now we can see the setup page. One more thing, do not run this command means once the application is installed, because this command will delete all your tables and again seed the data. So all your data might get lost if the application is installed. Hope you understand that. So now the application is installed. So this is the application. So let's jump back and see what other things are left. So remove public from the URL, cron job settings. So let's set up this in very quick. Worksuite, it's okay, and super admin@example.com and the password. So let's go to setup. Yeah, we are already on the setup. Here is the setup cron job. Let's see the command. So here we have a command PHP artisan schedule run. So for that, what we'll do is we'll go to the terminal again, and here we will be running the command via user www-data. So for that, we'll use sudo cron tab -e and user is -u www-data, and we'll use basic, and here we will be entering that command. And first we will copy these 5 stars and enter 5 star, then space, and then this command, and this command is now edit, and the cron job is now set up. Let's reload this page and wait for at least 1 minute so this message goes away. So now you can see the cron job message is gone. This means the cron job is running. So cron job is also completed. So let's jump to the domain mapping. Creating virtual host is already completed. Let me show you. Go to site. So this worksuite.xyz is the virtual host that we have created. And let's jump to the domain mapping. For that, I will be using the domain name worksuite.xyz. We'll go to the GoDaddy. Here is my domain, and let me add the DNS record. For that, I'll go to DNS, add new record, and here will be a record add, and we'll point to the IP, and this is the IP. Let's paste it and let's click save. So now that we have pointed the domain to this IP, and now we will have to wait for the DNS propagation. Meanwhile, let's see the DNS propagation. And here we will be entering this domain and see the status of DNS. We have added a record. Let's click on search and see the IP that we are getting. So we are getting 3 IPs. Let's see why we are getting these 3. If there is any other, I don't think there is any other. So we are also getting 188, which is good. So let's open the domain in the URL and see if we are able to get the Worksuite application. Let's remove HTTPS for now. It's temporarily down. It is for some reason is redirecting me to HTTPS. Let's open in Safari and see. It's not yet resolved. Let's remove the HTTPS. So still the propagation DNS propagation is not working. It's still in place. Let's wait for a while. But let me remove this part and let's see if there are any other configurations. No, I think everything is now good to go. So now on Safari we are able to see the domain, but it runs without HTTPS, as you can see. So let's jump back to the things. So the next step is installing SSL. So the application is running on the, so let me log in with, it was, I think it was superadmin@example.com and the password was, let's log in. So as you can see, not secure. Let's install the SSL. For SSL, we scroll down, here is the command. We will install this package on the terminal. We'll go to the terminal and here we'll run this command. So this was run. Let's sudo certbot nginx and the domain is worksuite.xyz. Let me quickly write the email.com and the pass. Yes. So now the SSL certificate is generated and it's now changing the configuration of worksuite.xyz. Let's cross check it and see. So as you can see, the certbot has inserted these following lines, 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines here, and this server part down completely so that it redirects all the requests to HTTPS. Let's restart the Nginx and go back to the Safari and now reload this page, and now you can see SSL is installed and we can see HTTPS in URL. So hope everything is clear to you. I will keep all the error as such, so as if you get any error and you know how to resolve this. So if you still have any query, please write down and our team will respond to that. Thank you.